Today, we're diving into a toolkit that is like a caffeine shot for your productivity. We're going to talk about the tools that I use to save 2 hours a day in my business. So come with me for this episode. So the very first tool that I use to save an immense amount of time, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information on what I do with it, how much it costs, and whether or not I recommend it for like a lot of folks. So here we go. Tool number one, no surprises here. The sort of the inventors of the generative AI category as it looks and feels right now, and I'll tell you this is going to keep changing. What I love is that ChatGPT brought competition to the front. So ChatGPT is my number one tool. Along with it, there are a couple of other versions, and you'll find a lot of other creators out there who are talking about, one versus the other and what they use, each one for. My thinking on the subject is that that's great information to have, but in the actual business, pick the paid version of one. ChatGPT costs about $20 a month. It's also the same for Cloud and Gemini, which are its competitors. But the reason I suggest ChatGPT is because I think they're just moving incredibly fast in terms of how the thing is learning. I think their introduction of custom GPTs, which enables you to use workflow to do repeat actions over and over again, and the GPT store, a few other things lead me to say, like, stay with the people who invented this particular game, right? And so what I use ChatGPT for more often is things like brainstorming, like open-ended things. I want to start thinking. I could use a little bit of feedback back and forth. I use it for that. I also am a huge believer in custom GPTs. That is basically, I think, the future where we're headed. In under a year, we've moved from learning how to prompt the machine to learning how to like build repeat prompts into like a workflow. This is like the new avatar of what like software looks like in the future. And so I use custom GPTs. We have one which I co-created with Dan Sanchez, who is podcast guru and fellow AI optimist. It is for pre-production for podcasters, where it simplifies the process of preparing questions. It's called MyShowRunner, and you'll find it at myshowrunner.com. Details will be in the show notes. So what that does is it takes what would previously take an hour at the minimum, and that is for people like us who've done like several hundred episodes of podcasts, where you're able to like construct what it is you want to talk to the subject matter expert about, what your questions are, how you're going to deliver the best possible value in each episode. Because otherwise what you end up getting is like an episode in which someone's talking about where they went to school and what they studied, and the meat of the episode hasn't even started halfway in. So creating really good episodes is a lot of prep, especially with guests, so that you don't end up just doing like, hey, who are you and what do you do and blah blah, and how do you link it back. So using custom GPTs, that's an example of one way in which I use it. So ChatGPT is tool number one. I think at $20 a month, it costs roughly the same as what you're spending like to buy yourself a bunch of pens or notebooks. And so this should be like the no-brainer in terms of like creating that AI literacy base level. Now, if you have a lot of team members, this can add up and it can get expensive. And then you're going to have to start thinking of different ways to do it. But when your team is small, when it's 5 and under, I think it's, highly recommend. And I highly recommend this as a tool for individual productivity, whoever you are and wherever you work and whatever you do. This is just like, again, a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. The next tool, a tool that has been changing the way that I approach search, is Perplexity. Perplexity.ai is, in my opinion, the future of search. It is giving tools like Google like serious pause, and like people would like to go out there and make statements like they're going to put Google out of business. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to put Google out of their business. What is going to happen is there's going to be some real competition in the search space, because other people will buy you over. And this has already begun because NVIDIA and Jeff Bezos have invested in Perplexity, and the value of the company is rising. So that's the sort of backstory and industry update of where things are at. with Perplexity as I record this in March of 2024. How can you use it? It is different than other search tools in that it has context. And what that does is it allows this thing to go out there and it does a search really quickly. It will give you a paragraph which explains what its search findings are. And within that paragraph, it will point to 5, 6, 10, whatever number of links with specific information of what you're searching for. And now what that does is it cuts out a lot of noise from tools like Google. So if you think about how Google works, you've got like almost the entire top of your screen fold, at least one scroll on a typical handheld device is like sponsored posts, and then there's like stuff on the side, which is a lot of ads. And then the people who actually do land on page one are people who put a lot of effort into making sure that they have the right search factors and the keywords and things which cause them to rank higher than others. And then the nature of search is that a lot of links are given to you with possible answers. Like in these 10 links, you could possibly have the answer to the thing that you were searching for. And Perplexity does away with that. It comes back saying, you were searching for this, here's your answer, and here's the backup and the sources. And for people who are creators, writers, people who are research things in order to like factually input content for fact checking, this is an excellent resource. Because in the past, if someone said to you like, where is this information from, can you cite it, it's not always easy to get the exact context and the exact attribution. But with a tool like Perplexity, you can pull up specifics, like what is the population of this particular area, what is this benefit under employees, what is this grant that's available in this particular province. So there are like contextual things that you can use search for, which you need a tool besides ChatGPT. And people will ask the question, can ChatGPT not search? Yes, it can. It can search natively using Bing. There's the browse with Bing feature, which in the paid version you get access to that search feature, but it isn't smooth. It isn't non-glitchy. Like you'll come up on some problems along the way. Either it'll tell you the link was not accessible, or it'll only focus on the link and not the context of the brief that you want from it. So Perplexity, if you're searching, if you're doing research for specific sources, straight up go to Perplexity. Don't start with ChatGPT. Go and get that. There is in terms of pricing, there is a free version which is pretty robust. If you sign up using your email and still continue to use the free version, you will get a history of searches that you've used Perplexity for, which you don't get if you don't sign up. You can use it, just you can just open up the page and use it.